with the news that over 30 million Americans could lose their health insurance in the coming months because we're a genius nation that has decided to tie having health insurance to employment, Donald Trump, I think, accidentally made the case for Medicare for all in front of the press, and it was pretty stunning because this is how simplistic of an idea and how perfect of an idea Medicare for all is. It seems common sense when said in another context, in the context of a pandemic, so much so that Trump basically endorsed it to a Fox News reporter. President Donald Trump suggested on Wednesday that he would consider opening up Medicare and Medicaid to nearly 30 million uninsured Americans as the coronavirus spreads across the United States. It was a remarkable concession from a president who supports striking down the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, a move that would strip health insurance away from tens of millions of Americans. So a Fox News reporter, I believe it was John Stossel, got into a back and forth with Mike Pence about it. Mike Pence obviously obfuscated, dodged the question, as he does, one of the slimiest talkers in existence in politics, honestly. So Trump then butted in and goes, he said, Trump, it doesn't seem fair that so many Americans can't afford to purchase insurance but don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, appearing to suggest those programs could be expanded to include more people. John, I think it's a very fair question, though, and it's something we're really going to look at because it doesn't seem fair. Trump said, if you have it, you have a big advantage, and at a certain income level, you do. He continued, I think it's one of the greatest answers I've ever heard talking about Mike Pence, because Mike was able to speak for 5 minutes and not even touch your question. I said, that's what you call a great professional. So that's absolutely incredible. I read about the exchange, I didn't see it, but I'm sure it was as amusing when you watch the video as when you read it in the article. So what's stunning about this is that Trump is never gonna actually do this, right? He ran in 2016 and said that he was in favor of giving everyone healthcare. Everyone was gonna have healthcare when he was president. And clearly he didn't do that. He's been trying to get rid of Obamacare since he got into office, and he's just a pathological liar, but it played, right? And that's the whole point. Politics is also about messaging. You have Biden out there saying that, lying, by the way, because the World Health Organization just said that the number one thing that would help combat coronavirus and the spread is for universal health care coverage, and Joe Biden is repeatedly saying it wouldn't help. It wouldn't help. Medicare for all wouldn't help. And he's still against Medicare for all, even when, as I pointed out yesterday, even more conservative polls, even big polling stalwarts like the Morning Consult, are showing that a majority of Americans, a majority of independents favor Medicare for all. Joe Biden is still against it and still denying that it would have helped us combat the coronavirus pandemic, even as 30 million Americans, additional Americans, I mean, that totals around 60 million. I'm not exactly sure of that math because that was a tweet from Jeff Stein, Washington Post reporter, about that 30 million, so I would need to dive more into those numbers. But tens of millions of Americans don't have health insurance. And anyway, so that's, Joe Biden is still claiming that. Even as we have record unemployment, Great Depression level unemployment, and when you have a nation that ties employment to your insurance, and you're unable to get coverage and unable to treat yourself during a pandemic, yeah, that's going to have an effect on the spread. Let alone the fact that we don't have universal childcare, so people who may have contracted coronavirus are transferring it to their children. We don't have paid sick leave guaranteed for every job, so sick people could be going to work. All of these things compounding upon themselves because we are the richest nation on earth and we've decided to be sociopathic and cruel to everyday people in this country. That's how common sense it is. Trump heard it in another context outside of partisanship about Medicare for all. Why don't we expand that to everybody? That's a really good question. We're going to look very hard at it. He's lying, but if you can sell Trump on that, Trump has a gut feel for what makes sense politically. If you can sell Trump on that in that short second, Oh God, that would play so well with the American people in the general election. Oh, the Democratic establishment is so dumb. They are mind-numbingly dumb.